Quick.
And this is the performing arts side of the gymnasium.
As we go this way, you can see a bunch of plaques of accomplishments and memorials for people. And there's all of the theater and art stuff on the walls.
Everybody stop here. Huh? I believe it.
Thank you, Mac.
I mean, the other difference, this, all of this side was not.
Right.
First floor and the second floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be seen.
No, that's not what was going to They all come stand guard.
Oh, so cute. Really funny.
Yeah, we're hysterical.
While
being informative.
thank you.
Experiments. How did you say that word?
Played in here for,
It's a little fun.
yeah. So is it catered?
Yes, it's catered by Maple Angus.
Take a tour? You were still here when they did this. Yeah. I did.
That was the middle school guidance counselor's office, and I had English with Miss Johnston in the corner.
Who? Oh, really?
Yes. All these things.
Isn't that great? I forgot that happened then.
Yeah. All finance had it. Where's the card catalog?
Yeah, there was no kindergarten at the elementary school. It was built when I was there. You went from one hallway around to
It was so much more open when we were here, right?
Yes.
The rest of it, and everything started painting. Yes?
That's always fun.
I'm a schwab.
You guys here for a little tour? Or are you here just here?
What school?
Yeah, our daughter is. Info. Nice to see you. Yeah. Welcome. Are you guys here for a little tour first, or?
We put our class, I take it.
No.
We're supposed to put our makeup.
Mr. Wilson, who just walked by.
turn, please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
I went from down in front to up in front. Welcome, and that's a tough act to follow, son of a gun. Let's hear it for the band. And a former student of mine who does okay directing that band, Peter Roach. Thank you, Peter. And Peter was also helpful in getting this weekend organized, which was no small task, I must say. It started over a year ago, but I won't get into that. I just have a couple of things. If you aren't aware of it already, there is food in the cafeteria, and it's free. There is a wall in the cafeteria in the back end that folks can sign. Your name, do you graduated, that kind of thing. Also, there's a couple of TVs in there that are running. Tom Leypoldt from PEGTV. You can access their YouTube channel and watch what's on there. It's kind of cool. And then there's also a couple of books that you can sign as well. It's called Markie's Memories. I'd like to take a moment while we're here and have a moment of silence. I'd ask for your prayers for the Markie family. I know it's a difficult time for them, and they really, I am sure, would appreciate it. Don's in a better place. I'm just a little ticked off that he got there before I did. So, a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Mary Bride.
Well, welcome, welcome, welcome to our golden anniversary here at Mill River. 51 graduating classes have come through these doors since our first graduating class of 1976. We are so grateful to our communities of Clarendon, Shrewsbury, Wallingford, and Teignmouth for their 50 years of support for our students. We would like to thank the following folks for their amazing support of this celebration. The Mill River School Board, Shawn, class of 1983, and Ginger Seward, class of 1984 Bendig of Stonehedge Indoor Golf for hosting our amazing Friday evening festivities. Heather Austin, I think she's class of 95, and Josh Butler of the Maple Angus for their incredible contribution of food today. Shannon Pytlik and the Mill River Booster Club, thank you for all of your work. All of their generous donations and time have made this weekend possible. Now on to the formal stuff. Thank you to our committee members. Don Markie was a teacher, housemaster, administrator, and upper house guidance counselor here at Mill River. Len Doucette, a Clarendon resident, was a teacher, housemaster from 1979 and 2000, and he's a present-day school board member. Tom Leypoldt, alumni and PEGTV. Tracy Spencer, who is a Clarendon resident, class of 1990, and she has been the principal's administrative assistant since 2022. Peter Roach, class of 98, and the present instrumental music teacher since 2015. I would like to introduce now State Representative Mr. David Bosch. He's a Clarendon Springs resident for 34 years. 5 children are an alumni of Mill River. 39 years in the U.S. Forest Service and retired from the Green Mountain National Forest. And he is the official voice of Mill River home football games for the past 18 years. Mr. Bosch.
Thank you, thank you. As I get set up here, I'm reminded of a young lad who managed to get a friend to attend church with him for the first time. And as the preacher was getting ready to bring the message, he was going through a ritual much like this, and the visitor had all kinds of questions, and the young boy who was hosting him was cheerfully explaining everything. And then it came to the part where the preacher, in those days, took off his wristwatch and with great show, set it prominently on the front of the podium. And the little boy visiting said, "Why is he doing that? What does that mean? What does that mean?" And the host little boy hung his head in embarrassment and said, "It doesn't mean a thing in the world." One other task before I get into my message. This is kind of part of my outfit these days as a state representative, but I have been given permission to be comfortable and to wear one of my Mill River football game day uniforms. So here we go. All right. It's my honor and task to welcome you to today's festivities and parties celebrating Mill River's 50th. And hopefully we'll trigger some memories for you, warm memories, by sharing some of my own. So that's what I hope to do today. First, thank you for making the effort to join us. We really appreciate it. I first heard of Mill River Union High School in the fall of 1991 while living in Redding, California. My wife and I worked on the Shasta Trinity National Forests in California, and we're contemplating transferring to the Green Mountain, to the headquarters in Rutland, to be closer to my parents in New York State. So I reached out to a college friend of mine. We had been best men at each other's weddings. He'd gone on to become an MD and a cardiologist by going through the program at UVM, the cardiology program. So he in turn reached out to a classmate of his at the UVM cardiology program, our own Bart Bonazinga, who many of you probably know. And Dr. Bonazinga was very happy to chat with me about life in Vermont in general. Yeah, we have this thing called the town meeting where everybody gets together on one night in March and we discuss all the issues of importance to our town, and then we vote, and maybe there's a ham supper or something, but that's how we do it. Oh yeah? Everybody in the same room at the same time? Yeah. I said, well, what does your county government have to say about it? County government? What's that? So there were some differences and some nuances there. He also spoke about the Rutland area in specific, real estate values and different tax levels and things like that. But he was also fairly adamant that I needed to be in Mill River School District. And that's where I first heard about Mill River School District. So we arrived here in 1992. My wife got the promotion. I got a transfer, lateral, and immediately started the house hunting process. And the way that worked in 1992 was you did not have Zillow or electronic marketplaces. You looked in the Saturday section of the Rutland Herald, and they had a real estate want ad section. And we noticed quickly that there was only one school district promoted in those ads, like, this is the place, and it was Mill River School District. So we did end up settling in Clarendon Springs in 1992, been there ever since. As Mary said, 5 of our children have graduated from Mill River. They did participate in some of the wealth of activities that are available here. I had 3 football players, 4 of the boys wrestled. My daughter was very active in the theater, the Stage 40 program, and in the Chamber Singers. They were involved in the food basket drive for the National Honor Society, and there were other things along the way too. I'm pleased and proud to report that my children have grown into useful adults and have gone on to a number of worthwhile pursuits for which Mill River helped prepare them. My daughter Bethany even fulfilled a dream of hers and successfully swam the English Channel in 2014. And just a few personal reflections, if I may. These are almost random because there are many others. Science teacher Mrs. Rayford, of all the faculty that my kids had, and several of them had her, she was the one we kept running into at the grocery store or other places. It was very nice, very pleasant lady. Bear Irwin's music programs, especially the band, and I can see that carries on in really fine shape. That was a very impressive performance just now. I've enjoyed working in the press box during football games with Jojo Valenti and Peter C., who were taking turns manning the clock, different games. And I do hope to continue doing that. If our athletic director is out there, please note that. Chaperoning the wrestling team to the 2-day tournament in Essex Junction every year with Coach Charlie Pritchard. Getting to see excellent athletic performances, such as 2 of my sons wrestling for the state championship as heavyweights. Just got to see Zach Allen's 3 state wrestling championships, and many great plays by our talented football players such as Ryan Ward, Tyler Wood, Mike Morgan, too numerous to mention, so excuse me for not being able to call them all out. A story I'd like to relate, when Mike Morgan was playing, WSYB was regularly announcing games, and Dave Tibbs was announcing one of our games during Mike's season. Mike was not only the star quarterback, he was also one of the key defensive backs and one of the linchpins of the defense, and he did the punting and place kicking. So after having a really good first half, we get to the second half, and we had to punt, and Dave Tibbs says, and Mike Morgan drops back in punt formation. This guy does everything for the team. I think I saw him changing the oil on the team bus during halftime. And of course, Mary Bride, running the front office, and really, I wrote this before I knew she had anything to do with today's program. Mary Bride running the front office and handling all things attendance with an iron fist clothed in velvet. Discipline with an almost motherly love and great respect. And how does she remember and get everybody's name? That always bewildered me. And lastly, in my personal reflections, nothing about Mill River would be complete, and this is one that if you know it, you know it, would be complete without a nod to one of its greatest forces, that which transcends even the powers attributed to Chuck Norris. Mr. Brownell's mustache. Well, I trust I have successfully completed my assignment, and you feel warmly greeted, and your memories are starting to bubble to the surface. And since we're here to party, to celebrate Mill River's 50th, I'd like to close with a quote from one of my favorite authors, Maurice Sendak, from his classic book, Where the Wild Things Are. Let the wild rumpus begin.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome. My name is Kristin Simonetti. I am the Fine Arts Coordinator for the district, and I also have the absolute pleasure of singing with the 9th through 12th grade vocal musicians of Mill River Union High School every single morning. And I just want to thank the coordinators of this 50th anniversary celebration for inviting the music department to be able to share our gifts and our talents and our songs with you today. It's been a huge, huge blessing to be part of this. And isn't that marching band incredible? It is my absolute pleasure to introduce to you the Mill River Chamber Singers. They're going to come out in just a minute, and you can give them a round of applause when they're all out here. But they're going to be singing two pieces for you today. I'm going to introduce this first piece, which is what we call a legacy piece in this ensemble. Every year you have to audition to be of the highest caliber musician in order to be accepted into the Mill River Chamber Singers. It's our most elite ensemble. We rehearse on Monday and Friday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. And the early bird always gets the worm, right? And so we're gonna start off with a legacy piece. Chamber Singer sings this year after year. This is Tina Chin's arrangement of Over the Rainbow.
There's a
And we're going to leave you with this last piece called Sing Your Way Home. I specifically chose this piece to honor our 50 years of musical excellence. Our community is unbelievably supportive of the arts, of core academics and athletics being equally important to the student experience. And so this is our version of Sing Your Way Home.
Well, they're kind of a hard act to follow, aren't they? I believe I forgot one of our committee members, and that is Jill Colvin, class of '82. Jill, could you stand up? So right now, I would like to introduce Mr. Jack Filio. He was an English teacher here at Mill River, varsity soccer coach, principal, and the best darn boss I've ever had in 38 years. Mr. Filio.
Let me begin by saying I spent 22 wonderful years here at Mill River. Every time the students performed, I get a lump in my throat. It's good to see that some things haven't changed. I think we all learned an uncomfortable lesson this week. It's difficult to grieve and celebrate at the same time. But that was the lot we were dealt. Don Markie touched so many lives. I think I can say without fear of contradiction that Don was absolutely the best advocate for young people I have ever worked with. It seems insensitive to consider celebrating at such a sad moment, but there is another thing I know about Don Markie. He loved to reminisce about Mill River. And so I think we can take a look at 50 years ago. It was absolutely the highlight of my professional career, my honor and privilege to have served as a charter member of the Mill River faculty. This afternoon, I thought I might spend a minute talking about what I consider to be the foundation of Mill River. To begin, in August of 1975, the Mill River faculty was invited to spend 3 weeks of their summer vacation at an orientation held at the Clarendon Grange. As I remember it, we enjoyed the experience so much we forgot to complain. We quickly learned that there were going to be that we're going to do things a little differently at Mill River. One of the very first things that Superintendent Henry Burnham said after welcoming the faculty was, "It is our intention to build a truly student-centered high school." At the time, we all assumed all schools were student-centered. Over the next several days, however, we were politely but emphatically shown how schools often fall short of that ideal. And we were introduced to some interesting experiments. For example, we were introduced to the concept of housemasters, though no one was entirely sure what a housemaster was. One housemaster was responsible for grades 7 through 9, the other 10 through 12. Each had to be part guidance counselor and part administrator. When they were asked what a housemaster was, their common response was, "When I figure it out, I'll let you know." Principal Dean Houghton offered the clearest description. He said, "We want someone in that office who would kick a guy in the pants when he needed it and give him a pat on the butt when he deserved it." Next, we learned that Mill River would forego the conventional 4 9-week marking periods. Instead, we would have 6-week marking periods. Keeping track of student progress is a significant responsibility. We assumed the more often we reported to students, parents, and community, the better. Little things that would be different. Administrators would serve as department chairman. Typically, a teacher served that role and was compensated with an additional prep period. They thought a teacher's time was better spent in a classroom than inventorying textbooks and balancing budgets. These are just a few of the things, the many thoughtful decisions that shaped Mill River in its early years. I'm not suggesting that they served, however, as its foundation. Rather, they were the sticks and building blocks from which early Mill River was built. The foundation was something more substantial, more timeless. It came from an age-old philosophy which says everything in the universe functions better and more effectively when in balance. For example, I think most would agree with the idea that too much of a good thing can be bad. We were committed to a student-centered school. Taken to an excess, you run the risk of eventually having the inmates running the asylum. Fortunately, we had some very smart individuals who protected against that occurring. There was no one, positively no one, who supported or promoted the focus on students more than one of Mill River's first housemasters, Mr. Art Crandall. However, he would punctuate every practice or policy with a warning that we never forget that the adults are in charge. So we had a student-centered high school where the students were in charge. Balance. At the same time, we had wise veteran educators like Principal Dean Houghton in the main office, ready to advise us of another reality. As unlikely as we were willing to admit, he knew that adults were not infallible. They occasionally make mistakes. But to the best of our ability, students would not be expected to make hard decisions or unnecessary choices because of some adult action. If adults made a mistake, it was incumbent upon them to fix it. So, we had a student-centered high school where the adults were in charge while acknowledging that adults sometimes get it wrong. Keep in mind that was 50 years ago when the striking issues were the likes of determining the appropriate, this is what we wasted our time on, the appropriate punishment for a student who was caught chewing gum in class. Or what we might do to the young man who showed disrespect by wearing his hat in the building. Or, and this one nearly gave Mr. Houghton a coronary, how to respond when students asked to wear shorts in school. Compare that to the school of today, where they must decide when to schedule active shooter drills, or figure out how to deal with the aftermath of 2 years of pandemic, or develop policies for the management of social media or cell phones, to say nothing of what to make of artificial intelligence. An educational expert was recently asked what a school of the future might look like. He responded, "It will be a place where the teacher uses AI to grade tests that students used AI to take." In conclusion, just let me say, 50 years from now, when Mill River is celebrating its 100th anniversary, I take a great sense of confidence and hope that someone at Mill River will demonstrate for faculties, for students, faculty, and community that there is someone still paying attention to the scales. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Andrew Luce. I have been teaching at Mill River for 5 years, and I will be presenting to you the Jazz Combo. This is our premier instrumental ensemble. They audition at the beginning of the year, and we spend the majority of the year discussing improvisation and all kinds of great jazz styles. This semester, we have been exclusively talking about composition, and at our spring concert, we performed 3 student compositions, and as you can see here, there are more than 3 students, so we'll be performing the other 2 this evening, one right now and one after our next speaker. The first song that we will be singing was written by our very, very recent alumni, Wilder Brooks, at the end there. And he did not give the song a title, but I did. And in celebration of a TV show that recently had its 50th anniversary, this is the Ode to Lassie.
At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Jay Wilson, math teacher here at Mill River, who retired in 1998. He was our first official athletic director following Mr. Dean Houghton's brief reign as athletic director from 1977 to 1998, and he is a state championship varsity basketball coach for 20 years. Mr. Jay Wilson.
Thank you, Mary, for that introduction. I want to thank the 50th Committee for putting this weekend together and all the many individuals who have donated their time, goods, and services to make this a reality. It is without a doubt an honor and a privilege for me to stand before you this afternoon to speak about Mill River Union High School and its 50 years of existence. I owe my entire educational career to Mill River Union High School and those committee members on the hiring team back in 1975 who gave this fresh out of college teacher his very first job. I can't thank them enough for giving me a chance. Let me begin by sharing two certainties. First, as I reflected on my years at Mill River, one thing became abundantly clear. That is, I can vividly see God's I'll get there. Fingerprints all over my 23 years here, and I thank him for that. Secondly, when I Google the definition for unfair, what I get back is to be the speaker directly following Jack Filio. That's unfair. Wow, Jack. Some awesome words and eloquently delivered. Maybe you folks can feel my pain. Jack, an English guy, who spends his time reading, writing, and presenting. And here's me, a math guy, who spends his time trying to find out what X is today. So, if my words sound more like an algorithm than a speech, there's good reason. Now, how's that for a disclaimer? So recently I was introduced to these 3 sentences as a formula for success. And I think it applies to this event today as we take a step back in time and discuss Mill River's first 50 years. It's one of those simple but not easy things. And here are the 3 sentences. Plan the work, work the plan works. More on that later. The story begins in Clarendon, Vermont in 1975. Just across the street from what is now Kitchen and Counters, there was a motel. In one of those motel rooms is where all the interviews took place for the faculty and staff positions that were to be filled for the soon-to-be Mill River Union High School. So think about that for a minute. All the original members were interviewed and subsequently hired out of a motel room. That's pretty unique. and in my mind, as was the school that developed. I can't say what I can't say what resulted from those hirings was a perfect school, but it certainly was a pretty darn good school. Then there were those 3 weeks of in-service that Jack spoke about for this freshly hired bunch of misfit faculty members. Jack and I had somewhat different takeaways from that in-service. Most likely because I was one of those misfit first-year teachers that didn't have a clue amongst all those experienced teachers. Nonetheless, here are my takeaways, in no particular order. Blend the faculty together as a team. Create a sanctuary and oasis for all students, faculty, and staff. There would be no distinction between faculty and staff. All students were to be Mill River students, not Wallingford, Clarendon, Shrewsbury, Tinmouth, or tuition students. All students would be Mill River students. All parties involved were to be committed to the belief in and the notion that high expectations generally result in high outcomes. A disciplined climate is what is best in the end. Help to create platforms where students could exhibit their gifts and talents, to showcase the best possible version of themselves, whether it be in academics, athletics, drama, band, chorus, Stafford Center skill areas, or other arts and skill areas. And to enthusiastically promote the goings-on of the school and rally the entire community around them. In other words, we were strongly encouraged to drink the Kool-Aid. And do whatever it takes for Mill River to be successful. The culminating activity of this 3-week in-service was a team-building activity where everyone, administrators, faculty, staff, all of us, either picked up debris from the parking lot that was left by the construction workers and or put together furniture, desks, tables, chairs, etc., for the soon-to-be first day of school. Now, that's true evidence that the consumption of the Mill River Kool-Aid had taken roots. Some random tidbits that came to mind during my preparation for today. Today, the big push educationally is for redistricting. Ironically, in 1975, by Mill River being formed, a district was being actually added. Transparency is a huge deal today. Well, Mill River was way ahead of its time because when it opened, the original building largely had no walls. So, if one was to stand in the middle of the then Resource Center, also known as the library, on any given day, you could hear lessons on world language, English, social studies, and mathematics simultaneously. No hiding for students or faculty there. Science classes, though, were behind walls due to safety concerns, so were far less transparent. Along the transparency lines, as a first-year teacher, I was worried about classroom management. This open concept actually helped me with this concern. Mrs. Alta Johnston. A veteran English teacher had her classroom all the way across the building from me. On any given day, she would raise her voice and speak sternly to her students about their behavior, which could easily be heard by my students. Upon her closing remarks, I would simply say to my class, "The same goes for you." Problem solved. I need to say something here about the student body during my stay at Mill River. By and large, the students were exemplary. They bought in to this being their school, and they had certain responsibilities. They represented it very well. They took pride in it and helped to keep it neat, tidy, and pristine, one of Dean Houghton's pet peeves. They were good with being held to high standards and expectations. Many of these students I count as friends, colleagues, and co-workers today. The community support during my time here was overwhelming and splendiferous, if I can make up a word. I felt the support in every facet of my Mill River experience, whether it be teaching, athletic directing, or coaching. But I especially was made keenly aware of it during the years 1982 and 1989. At that time, I was hanging around with some young men who were committed on winning a state championship basketball. I was the lucky one to be their coach. They took home the crowns for those 2 years, and I can't adequately describe how this community sport was so instrumental in us achieving those 2 championships. I'm sure many of you have felt the same. It's truly humbling. Now, back to those 3 sentences. First is plan the work. I'm thankful for those in leadership positions during the design and construction of Mill River. Their names bear mentioning. The school board members, William Parker, chairman, Leland Congdon, Joan Holden, Philip McKee, Catherine Sanderson, Irving Smith, Superintendent Henry Burnham, Principal Dean Houghton. Next, I'd like to highlight 2 of my 3 pillars of Mill River, who were more than instrumental in planning the work. First, Dean Houghton. He truly knew how to build a team and how to get them to perform collectively at levels they didn't realize they could. Secondly, Henry Burnham, who once said to me when I requested something that was outside of the budget, if it's good for students, then we better find a way to get it done. They planned the work. Secondly is to work the plan. I would be remiss if I didn't mention here someone who carried out Henry's words to the max, even if it meant extra energy and time and often after-hour consults. My third pillar of Mill River, Don Markie. A great listener. He was present in every conversation and circumstance. Out of him came only positive ripples. He worked the plan. Last sentence in the formula for success, the plan works. Invariably, I see former Mill River grads, and the vast majority of them say, unsolicited, I might add, what a great experience they had at Mill River, how well they were prepared, and now freely admit how much they appreciate being, shall I say, closely watched over. Evidence the plan works. I see no reason today why Mill River can't continue to be a pretty darn good school. So, as the song goes, on Mill River. Thank you.
Thank you for that beautiful introduction, Mary. Our second and final selection this evening is a composition by our alto saxophonist, Xander Pennington, and this is entitled Hullabaloo.
So now, where is she? She knows she's in for this. Mary Colvin, class of 1995. Sit back while you listen to this. Secretary of her class from grade 7 through 12. Social studies teacher since the fall of 2000. In her own words, bleeding red, white, and blue for 32 of her glorious 49 years. I'm not done, Mary. NHS advisor, middle school basketball coach, JV and varsity softball coach, unified bowling and unified basketball coach, middle school team leader, social studies department chair. I don't figure out when you teach within all this. I gave her the nickname when she was in high school of Do It All Dolly when she was a student, and she is proudly living up to that now. Can we please welcome Mary Colvin?
It's been a few minutes since 1995. I wasn't wearing these back then. Speaking of unfair, Jay, I got to follow Jack, you, and our student musicians. I am honored to have this opportunity alongside some of Mill River's best. Today we gather not just to mark the passage of time, but to honor the legacy of those who came before us, the visionaries who opened these doors, the educators who devoted their lives to teaching, and the students who walked these halls with dreams and determination. Since our founding, this school has been more than just a building. In fact, at times it feels like a place that never sleeps. It has been a place where curiosity was sparked, friendships were formed, and futures were shaped. Each classroom holds stories of challenges overcome, talents discovered, and moments that changed lives forever. How many of you can remember what your first year at Mill River was like? I remember leaving Middletown Springs Elementary School as a member of a class of 9 students and entering Mill River with my new class of 145. What the heck is that PA system all about? You have not lived until you hear Marlene Parker on the announcements. And then there was our MC for today's celebration for many years after. We have to change for PE, and what the heck is that gang shower in the locker room all about? Culture shock was an understatement. But helping to ease that culture shock were fabulous adults who welcomed us and made us feel like we were a part of Minutemen Nation as soon as we walked through the halls here. It's hard to capture all of the times, both good and bad, at the Mill, but I'll try to touch on a few. I recall 7th and 8th grade elective classes that produced very lopsided stuffed animals and very weird-looking pillows in home ec class, and mousetrap cars and silkscreen shirts in industrial arts classes. I also recall the open classroom concept where you could get a geometry lesson from Miss St. Ange at the same time you could hear Mr. Brownell bellowing about archaeology and world history next door. That's when he wasn't busy in the office kicking the copier to make it do what he wanted it to. Then, do you remember the transportation committee, when we all thought we were getting out of school early, only to be disappointed that it was all the big burly men coming to break up a fight or take care of an unruly student? I think some of you guys might have been on that committee. There were athletic events that packed the gym and the sidelines of the fields. There were dances that packed the Houghton gym. There was an egg drop from the top of the roof in science class. There were foreign language trips around the world with classmates. What did you buy with your Barker bucks? AP Bio reviews at Mrs. Rayford's house. Did any of you ever salute Sergeant Snarsky? Who did you... I still do, I can't call her Sally. Who did you run faster from when you saw them in the hallway? Miss Holden, Stormin Norman, Mr. Stevens, Mr. Houghton, Mr. Filio, Mr. Town. His little stature really was intimidating still. Mr. Wallet, but probably not Mr. Markie. Do you remember those awful tri-fold boards that you made look pretty for science fair? Remember when the cafeteria food was all homemade, that cinnamon swirl bread? How about the payphone in the main lobby? Today's students wouldn't even know how to use it, and it wasn't even a rotary phone. The health department was lagging a bit, as I think my first 3 years, there was a smoking area outside shared by both staff and students for a few years. Were you a class officer or a member of student council, NHS, GMTI, SAD, peer friends, yearbook staff, or math counts? There was always something for everyone at Mill River. But what I recall most was the pride that we all had in Mill River. When we were students here, we were all proud to say that we went to Mill River. Some of us might even be categorized, as Mary said, as those who bleed red, white, and blue. We have long prided ourselves on our music and drama programs, marching in parades locally, and even as Mr. Giles is here today with his white baseball cap from Washington, D.C., participating in and winning various drama competitions, state championships in cheerleading, basketball, 8-men football, wrestling, and great runs in all other sports. Coaching greats like Linda DePalma, Don Allen and staff, Jay Wilson, Shirley Brusso, Jojo Valente, Gary McDonald, and Ken Webb served our school well for many years, accumulating wins and creating legacies of success. We have also prided ourselves on our strong academics as well. Students successfully come out of Stafford with jobs all lined up. Some have proudly served our country in the military. Some students go off to big universities, and others stay closer to home, but they've all gone on to do amazing things. To our alumni, you are the living history of this institution. You've carried the values and lessons learned here into the world, making a difference in ways both big and small. Your achievements remind us of what's possible. To our teachers and staff, past and present, your dedication is the foundation of our success. You've inspired generations, often going way above and beyond, to ensure that every student feels seen, supported, and capable of greatness. This celebration belongs to you as much as anyone. To our students, you're the future of the school story. You are writing the next chapter, bringing new energy, new ideas, and new dreams. As you walk these halls, remember that you are part of something bigger, a tradition of excellence, resilience, and community. And to our families and community members, thank you for your unwavering support. This school thrives because of the partnerships and pride that extend far beyond these walls. As we reflect on the past 50 years, we also look ahead. The world continues to change, and so will we, adapting, growing, and striving to provide the best possible education for generations to come. But one thing will remain constant: our commitment to nurturing minds, building character, and inspiring success. Today, let us celebrate the memories, honor the people who made them possible, and look forward with hope and excitement for the future. Here's to 50 years of MRU excellence and to many more. Thank you.
And nobody needs to wonder why. Mill River is great. Our speakers today have brought us down memory lane, made us proud, very proud to be a part of Mill River, and we thank them. In closing, we would like to invite you to the cafeteria for a great meal, Memories of Mill River, and feel free to sign our guest books, our 50th anniversary wall, and contribute what you would like to our time capsule. Thank you to all of our speakers today. Their memories have given us our memories and our hope for our future. At Mill River, a student recites the Pledge of Allegiance every morning at 8:15. And Cabot Spatz ends the Pledge of Allegiance with saying, "We are Mill River. Once a Minuteman, always a Minuteman." We thank all of you for coming.
Yeah, I bet you could tell some stories of how many principals have been here.
14.